How's it going, everyone? I hope you're all doing good. Welcome to another study session. In this one, we are going to be drawing the nose. Now, if you're familiar with these videos, you'll know that I typically like to go over some general anatomy before looking at how to draw something, and so we'll do the same here. Now, I probably don't have to tell you that the nose exists between the eyes and mouth and is there to detect smell. It's also there to help us breathe. They vary in shape and size between people for numerous reasons that I'll discuss later on. For now, here on screen, I'm drawing out some diagrams that will allow us to go over the basic structure of the nose. Here I've drawn the front of the skull on a 3/4 view, and I've also added the nose onto this. Next to this, I'll draw the nose in isolation on a front and side view. Now, the nose consists of bone, cartilage and fat. To put it simply, think of the top as being bone and the bottom being muscle. The bony part of the nose is the nasal bone, and at either side is the maxilla. The cartilage is separated into an upper and lower section. The upper section, when combined with the nasal bone, is referred to as the bridge of the nose. Here I'll add some colour to this and label these parts. The lower section of cartilage is referred to as the ball of the nose, and finally at the side of this is what we refer to as the wings, forming the nostrils. I'll label the nasal bone and maxilla as well. Remember, the nasal bone also forms part of that bridge. When drawing, it's helpful to divide the nose into these 3 sections to keep things simple. However, like you can see on this drawing to the side, the upper cartilage on the nose is more like a beak extending down to the lower cartilage, which forms the ball. But like I said, when it comes to drawing, we'll split it up like this. Now, if you're familiar with these study sessions, you'll know that I'm currently covering all of the facial features and looking at how to draw the head. In the previous video where I had covered the eyes, I had also referred back to another video that I made on drawing the skull. This one's going to come up often, considering we need to be familiar with the skull if we are to draw the head. Here on screen, I'm going to begin constructing the skull on a 3/4 view. I explained this process in that earlier video. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to talk about placement and show the nose in context with the skull. Now, between the eye sockets here, there is an area of bone called the glabella. This is a trapezoid shape and is something that I discovered when looking through Michael Hampton's book, Figure Drawing, Design and Invention. He refers to this as the keystone, and it's useful to know about this because it creates a flat plane between the receding planes for the eye sockets. From the bottom of this, a tapered plane for the front of the nose extends down and the shape of the nose is blocked out like so. I'll also add the planes which recede into the skull for the eye sockets. And so these planes are really useful. This is something that I learned from Andrew Loomis. He reduces the shape of the head down to a series of planes, and that's something that we'll definitely be looking at in future videos. This is just a section of it that I'd recommend drawing out on different angles. Essentially it's like this, right? There is the keystone shape between the eyes, there's the planes for the eye sockets receding into the skull, and from the end of the keystone you can project down a plane for the nose and begin to block it out. The reason why this is so valuable is because it also helps to reinforce your perspective. Here I'm doing a quick sketch to show these planes on a side view. Oh, and I also want to note that, as a general rule, the base of the nose comes down to this dividing line here, which is also in a line with the bottom of the ear. Anyways, that is how we place the nose onto the head, and from here you can draw the nose in detail, which is what I'll cover in this next section. So now we have this, right? We have the keystone between the planes for the eye sockets, and down from that we have the planes which block out the shape of the nose. Looking at some of the drawings by Loomis, you'll notice that the base of the nose is actually split into some more planes, and so I'll draw the same out here. There's lots of really good reference images and models for this as well. I was using a 3D model of the head to help me draw this, and I recommend you do the same. Remember how this all applies to the form and features of the skull as well. Here I'll lightly sketch that in. So once we have this, the next step is to draw the nose within this box. Notice how the nasal aperture sits inside this and how the box also covers the nasal bone and maxilla at the sides. Because of this, I like to draw some lines onto the box, bringing one down to this corner at either side. You'll see some more examples where I do that soon. Once I've done that, I typically start by adding the upper cartilage. When drawing the nose in 3 sections like I covered at the start, this section curves down to the sides around this point, where I then start to draw in the lower cartilage or ball of the nose. These curve upwards to that same point. I can then add in the wings of the nose at the sides. I'll outline this box and colour in each of these sections. Again, there's the upper cartilage here in orange. The ball of the nose I'll colour in green. The wings can be in yellow. The nasal bone is also contained within this box, along with the maxilla at the sides. I'll also colour in what is the most important part of this, being the keystone. Notice as well how those lines I added around the nasal aperture also forms a plane inside the box. Anyways, now let me do the same on some different angles. Here I construct these planes on a front, side and 3/4 view. I'll also be drawing more of these in perspective later in the video. So again, this is the same as what I had just drawn above, only on some different angles. Once I have these planes drawn out, the next step is to outline the nasal aperture by taking a line across the front of here. This is the bottom of the nasal bone, and then a line down to the corners like so. From here I can then draw in the nasal bone. Now it's time to add the 3 sections of the nose. Starting with this front view, I outline the upper cartilage for the bridge of the nose. Now below this, I add the lower cartilage for the ball of the nose. And finally, I add on the wings at either side for the nostrils. Now I'll also do the same on the side and 3/4 view. I'll also outline the box in red so that it's clear to see. So that's what I'm now going to do on some random angles in perspective, but before I get to that, there's one last thing that I'd like to go over. Remember at the start of the video when I said the nose can come in different shapes and sizes? Well, it's important to consider what it is that actually changes the shape of the nose, and there's a few things that I'll briefly go over. First of all, the shape of the nose should be cohesive with the rest of the face, so keep that in mind when making these decisions. Now, the bridge of the nose is something that can vary a lot in shape between different people. Here I'll create an example and make the bridge a lot softer, creating a more gradual curve. On the other hand, we can create a much stronger bridge for the nose, one which protrudes out more. The ball of the nose can also vary in size and height. Here in this example, I'm drawing the nose in which the ball is lower down and rather round, and next to this I'll do the opposite. Here the ball of the nose will be higher and flicking upwards. There's also a middle ground with these examples, right? This is just to show either end of the scale. The wings are something that vary in shape, resulting in different shaped nostrils. In some cases, the wings of the nose will be bigger, forming larger nostrils, and they can also raise or lower with the shape of the nose. Here I'll draw a nose with some smaller wings, and then one that is wider. And as a general rule, whenever you are drawing more feminine characters, you'll want to use softer and more delicate forms. The strong, rigid forms typically appear more masculine. In addition to this, there's lots of ways and things you can tweak to produce different looking noses. This image on screen is a good example. There's a lot of good references out there for you to use. It's probably worth me stating as well that the shapes of noses vary between races depending on the temperature and climate. On a quick side note, the nasal cavity inside the nose heats up or cools down the air before sending it into the lungs, similar to a radiator or filter. And so because this is sensitive to temperature, it's also a major factor in determining the shape of the nose between different races. This is something that I had learnt when studying the nose and reading Stonehouse's anatomy book. So that should give you a brief understanding of how the nose can vary in shape. Now it's time to conclude this video by drawing some noses at different angles, and to do this I take the same approach as I have covered throughout this video. This one is from an angle where I'm looking up at the face from below, so I'll see a lot of the nostrils here. Pay attention to how the same methods apply regardless of the angle you are drawing this on. The hardest part is probably constructing the planes at different angles to get you started, but as I said earlier, I'd recommend using a model for reference to assist you in doing that. These planes help to establish the perspective, and if you've watched any of my perspective drawing tutorials, you'll know that I always construct boxes first to then draw within, and so I'm essentially doing the same here. You can see how the nose fits within this box that I'm drawing it in. Again, I'll also outline the box in red to emphasise that, along with the nasal aperture which I outline in green. This next nose here is drawn from an angle looking down from above. Notice how here the upper cartilage is more on show. It does appear to look like a beak when I add that on. Don't worry about going outside of the box either, especially if you are creating some unique looking noses. You know, as long as the basic structure is there and it makes sense, the box is mostly there to guide you and again ensure that your perspective is right. So there we go, that is how to draw the nose. I hope you enjoyed this study session. If you want to learn more, then do consider checking out my Patreon page. There I create what I refer to as study documents, which are essentially tutorials on paper. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the content I create, then do consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You will gain access to exclusive tutorials, study documents, process papers, real-time drawing footage and more. Plus you will also be supporting me in a more personal way. Other than that, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you soon.